What's happening? It's your girl, TampaMystic, and we are back with another episode of Magic Room Mondays right here on the Magic Room. Listen, we always bring the dopest entrepreneurs, business owners. We had an artist manager earlier today. We got a dope female DJ checking in today. Anybody that's creating magic in their field of expertise, that's who we're rocking with. So without further ado, you guys stay tuned, and we're going to have my girl, DJ Timeko. And there she is, DJ Timeko. What's happening? How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm so happy. I've been trying to spend these last few little days at the pool before a snowstorm.
Child, you first and foremost, for everybody who's tuning in, if you're not familiar, she in Denver, Colorado, y'all.
I'm in Denver.
You probably get snow this deep out there, right?
Man, I'm trying to get it in while I can.
Listen, I'm so excited to have you on here. And that's how I feel. Like, even though we don't get the snow and stuff like that, it still gets a little chilly out here in the ATL. I've been outside every day trying to get every little piece of sunshine I can before that cool, cold weather start rolling in. So,
right.
Listen, this my home girl. Like, this my sister. Shout out DJ Tamiko. I just want to first and foremost, brag on her for a minute because I just love her. Like, along my journey in this music business, I've met a lot of people, and she's probably one of the most, loyal, humble, hardworking females that I've met. And I just respect you so much for that. So I just, wanted to take the time, let you know, and let the world know how much I respect what you got going on. Look what you got over there going on. What you doing, baby?
Oh, look, can you see that?
Okay, that's that good girl.
Look, I was just I'm in Colorado, guys. So
she in Denver, y'all. Like, it's completely legal out there. You know what I'm saying?
I thought I was off camera trying to get my little bowl together.
Baby, you don't offend me whatsoever. But listen, introduce yourself. Tell everybody, who you are and what you got going on.
So my name is DJ Timeko. I'm out here in Denver, Colorado. Just like everybody else, trying to get things going after the pandemic, trying to see, is it going to be another pandemic,
right.
Because I feel like the music industry, the food industry, we definitely get hit the hardest. Well, maybe not, maybe the medical profession probably gets hit the hardest. Let me give them their respect first. But I mean, just as far as like money and things like that, we hit pretty hard. So just trying to see like what this thing is going to be like going forward. Also, just setting myself up for retirement. I'm ready to retire.
That's facts, because one thing about life is we don't want to work ourselves to death.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that we don't want to work to the point where we kill ourselves, number one. We want to work hard. Nor do we want to have to work to the day that we actually do die. And it's sad because some people, I get so sad when I go into like Walmart or the grocery stores and you see people in there who look like they're about 80 and they're still working. And I wonder, I'm like, are they doing it just because they're bored and maybe they don't have any family, or are they just not set up for retirement properly? So like you said, it's all about setting ourselves up.
Probably a little bit of both,
Right. Exactly. You're right. It's probably a little bit of both, but either way, it makes me sad because I think at that point in your life, you should just be enjoying it,
Right. Well, I think the key is to just enjoy it wherever you're at, whatever age you're at, whatever you're doing. Because like you said, you never know,
Facts. That's absolutely true. Especially through this pandemic that we've been in, it's still very much out there. It's still very real. It's still very much going on. We both have experienced, knowing people that either have it or have passed from it. That forever has changed our life. So that also was a wake up call to let us know that another day is not guaranteed. So that being said, you guys got to, get to it and get to work. So let's just talk about the history of DJ Timeko, lean to the side. Let me see that banner behind you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, baby. I see you.
And I actually had that banner made for. I had a residency here at this place called the Catfish Haven, and this banner was actually hanging up, in the front window so you can see, like, so everybody driving by can see it. And so they closed down for the pandemic. So it's actually like right here in my living room. Like I'm on my couch. I'm like,
I love it.
And you know, my mom is like, "Oh, you're gonna hang that up right there?" I was, yes. Absolutely. It's going right here.
I love
Which is cool. It worked out because this is where I do most of my Zoom calls and stuff. So I'm like, okay, all right, yeah.
You gotta, like, you know, I got my banner here, and then when I do my Industry's Most Wanted, I got 2 Industry's Most Wanted banners. You gotta brand yourself, and we're gonna talk about that because that's one of the things that you actually help. You know, artists and stuff do is, you know, you offer some promo type services outside of being such a dope DJ. So, you know, talk to us about, you know, life in Denver. You know, what's it like out there, just in general, besides being beautiful?
Right. Well, yeah, I was born and raised here in Denver, and so I've definitely watched it change. It was very small. I mean, it was maybe mid-sized. You know, it's not like a LA or New York, but you know, it was a lot smaller. It was really a great place to grow up. And then they just legalized weed, and then everything just went crazy. Like it went crazy. Like rent went from like $800 a month to like $2,000 a month. And you're like,
wow.
You know, and it sucks because I feel like a lot of people from out of state moved in state and took advantage. There's only a few people making money, but the effects of the cost of living just went up for everybody. And, you know, we see a lot more homeless people, which is not cool being homeless in Denver because, I mean, it's cold. It's cold. Yeah. It's too cold. It's too cold. You know, and we would joke around about it, like, oh my God, like, you know, I would just have to like rob somebody and just go to jail for the night just so I could be inside, you know. If it came to it, right, like just to get out of the cold. And now, you know, I do some stuff like outreach and homeless stuff, and like you find out that, you know, I know for me, when I first started doing homeless stuff, you kind of look at them like, you know, oh, they must be on drugs, or oh, this, or like, why are you out here? But then when you actually get to meeting these people and talking to these people, a lot of these people have jobs. They have jobs. They have families. Right. They are not on drugs. They are trying their best, and they just, you know, you fall behind. And I just realized like a lot of people are just 1 or 2 paychecks away from being out there with them, you know. So it really made me humble myself a lot and just quit, you know, prejudging people and their situations. Like, why are you out here? You know, you could be doing this. You know, it's hard to say. Nobody can really say what somebody else should be doing, but definitely made me a lot more compassionate about, you know, what's going on. But like I said, just everything is just going up. People are just moving out of town, you know. And it's like, weed is legal, but I mean, we've been smoking weed this whole time. So, I mean, it's really not that big. I mean, the only difference is you can go to a dispensary, you could buy weed like on a corner store, like 7-Eleven, but you know, hopefully like they'll legalize it everywhere and it won't be such a price differential for people that live here. Because if you're not in the weed industry, you're really suffering. Like everybody had to have 3 or 4 jobs, OnlyFans page. Now they don't have that available, you know.
You're absolutely right. I'm glad you touched on that because you're right, man. I would say a big majority of Americans are really 1 to 2 paychecks away from not having anything. Like and it's sad. It's because a lot of these companies are just not taking care of the people. They don't have any health insurance. They're not you know, offering health benefits and stuff like that. So I'm glad that you touched on that because people do need to open up their eyes and realize that's why it's so important. And this is why you and I are having this discussion right now, because you got to do multiple things out here. You can't just have one stream of income. You know, what made you decide becoming a DJ in a male dominated industry? We're both women in a male dominated industry, especially with DJs. I think that a lot of people, when they hear the word DJ, they automatically think it's a man. You know what I'm saying? Then they see this beautiful girl, DJ Timeko, and they're like, oh, hold on a second, you know, like why being a DJ?
Well, I always wanted to. When I was little, I didn't really know. Like, I would always just watch. I was just so excited. Like, I don't want to tell my age, but like when MTV and BET, like stuff like that, start coming out, they start having music shows, and I would
Yeah.
record them on my VCR. Like, that's how old I am. I was recording
She
on
said a VCR.
I had my VCR. I was recording videos and all this kind of stuff. And then my mom
Craig, I
would
need
be
to
like,
borrow your VCR.
right, that was me. Like, I need to record video vibrations is coming on. I need to record it. And like my mom would be like, "That that's not a real job. Like, that's not a job. You have to go to school." And I wanted to just touch on that real quick. Like, okay, so I'm 46, right? And so
Stop lying.
I am 46 years old.
Stop lying. Y'all, just let y'all know she lying right now. She is not 46 years old.
Yes, born in 75. Yes, I'm definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
I honestly, I never knew that. Wow. You look good, baby.
Well, thank you. I take care of myself, you know.
That's what it's all about.
Look, I done messed up the thing.
Oh no, you good.
All
listen,
right,
you got so excited about me telling you how
I got
beautiful
excited, like, oh, thank you. But like I feel like when I was coming up, like they just stress, like, get a job, go to college, get a job.
Right.
Go to college, you might be able to get a good job and retire. I felt like nobody gave me any kind of entrepreneurial options, like start your own business or none of that stuff. They're just get you a job. So I got a job, and I was miserable. I was a dental assistant for a long time, and I was just like, this is gross. It's gross.
Hold on a second. I'm quite sure you've seen it. Oh, people who don't be brushing and flossing
right.
month. Ew. Okay, go ahead.
And then not only that, like I had moved to Houston. I was in Houston doing it at the time. And it's just like, that's when like, and then like a big like AIDS things came out, and they're just like, oh, everybody in Houston got AIDS. Everybody in Atlanta got AIDS. And I was just like,
you ain't want to touch them.
I was like, look, we'd be back there arguing. You get them. No, you get them. You looking at the chart. You like, no, I ain't where I'm going on break. I'm not working on him. You're not supposed to do that. But I was just like, this sucks. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I went back to, because I really enjoyed taking x-rays and stuff like that. So I went back to school to be an x-ray tech. And I actually was in x-ray and pipelines, right? Because oil industry is really big out there. So I was taking x-rays on pipes and stuff like that in the pipeline. And like, it was really like a lot of money. And I thought that I was going to be happy, but I really wasn't. Like, the more money you make, the more is required of you. And I was like, some months I could make like $10,000 a month. And that first check you get it, you're like, oh my God. But then like at the job, like, just think how a job treats you and you making $17 an hour. Okay. Right. Imagine if you're making that kind of money. They're just like, bitch, get up right fucking now. You're like,
yes,
get your motherfucking ass up, and then they're just like, what you gonna do? Quit? Like, yeah. They just talk to you crazy. And then it's like the nature of the job was dangerous in itself, because I'm dealing with uranium, plutonium, like all these different, and I mean, they drug tested us every single day. Like, that's
to make sure you have your system, right?
And I'd be so mad. I was like, they were getting drunk in the hotel like all night. Like, you're testing us for weed and coke. Like, what about all this liquor I just see them drink? Like,
y'all pound them back.
Right. And so I was like, this is, and then it just really like made me take a look at my life, because I'm just like, man, I'm making more money than I've ever had, and I am miserable. Like, I hate this shit. And so I was like, okay, one day I was just like, I'm gonna quit. Like, I made enough money. I'm just gonna buy some DJ equipment and I'm gonna do that. And I had started interning at a online radio station. It was called Livewire Urban Radio. And I worked with all these guys, and I was the only female. Well, it was a couple of other females there, but they were like singers. They were right. And you know, it's just, they were just like, oh, you know, you're cute. Like, yeah, like, you know, sit over there. Like, they didn't take me serious. Like, they're just, oh, aren't you cute with your little idea? Like, okay, go on over there. And so I would just, I mean, they came, I was like, I had so many ideas and suggestions, and they were like, you know what? We're not taking no advice from you. You ain't no DJ. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I did feel like I knew what I was talking about. And so one was like, hey, if you think you know so much, like, why don't you just become a DJ and do it yourself? I was, you know what? That's what I'm about to do. That's a good idea. So that's what I did. And you know, it was, I feel like it was like kind of cliquey. Like at this point, I was like 30. 35 maybe. I was older, you know, so all the DJs had already like been DJing since high school. They already had like 10, 15 years under their belt, you know, and here I come, you know, like I just felt like I started late, and I felt like I had to catch up. So I felt like I had to work like 10 times as hard as everybody else, not even being a female, just trying to catch up that, you know, time differential. So understood. So I'm just working. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I was doing everything. Just whoever needed a DJ, I'm there. I'm at the petting zoo. I'm at the mall. I'm over here. I'm at the ice cream shop. I'm at JJ's 98th birthday party. I'm DJing whatever. Whoever needed some music, I'm there. Like, I'm doing it. And then you know, it just taught me so much, just like what not to do, basically, you know, and but I was happy. I was like, you know, even though I'm DJing at the petting zoo, I'm so happy, you know, this is what I want to do.
You're creating your own schedule, and you're doing something that you actually are passionate about. And what you and I both have learned on our journey, because I'm 1 year older than you. I'm 47, and I consider myself to this music industry kind of a late bloomer too, because I was in my 30s as well before I got heavily involved, because I was a single mom. So I wanted to wait till my son was done with high school and out the door before I really fully pursued this. So I'm like you, I feel like I was catching up with everybody. But what I learned is, man, money truly cannot. I was making around 6 figures a year, but I was like you. I had the a-hole bosses who just didn't care, and it was like, do this. I was not happy. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, going out on your own is a risk, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You know,
it's worth it. Yeah.
So, along your journey so far, like, what has been like maybe a highlight moment for you as a DJ?
I would definitely have to say a highlight moment for me is 2014. I won Female DJ of the Year at the SCA Awards. And I was just like, I was so excited, you know, because I just started doing, like I said, I just felt like I was catching up. So, you know, I would call other DJs like, you know, hey, like, how do you do this? And, you know, they're like, fuck off. Like, we're not teaching you shit. Like, you just don't come take our gigs. Like, fuck you.
Damn.
And I'll be like, oh.
I'll let you know their ass was insecure.
Right. So I'll be like, you know what? You know, I feel like Fleet DJs was very instrumental in helping me because just like forming a brother and sisterhood with so many DJs all over the United States. So like I could call somebody in California, hey, how do you do this? They're like, let me show you, because it was no intimidation. It was no, like, we weren't in competition. Like, I can't take none of your gigs. You can't take none of mine. Like,
thanks.
You know, so I built a stronger bond with people, like everybody out of state, you know, because I felt like I could just have a more open conversation. Like, they don't know me, you know, she's not sleeping with my man, like none of this stuff. Like, you know,
all the shit that we get accused of, right?
So it's just like, oh, this is great. And so for me to win that award was just like, oh my God, like it was like everything for me. But it also taught me a lot, because I don't know why I just assumed like because I won this award, like my life was gonna change. You know, I came back to the same old shit, and like people just weren't even excited for me. And I was like,
of course not.
You know, because you have like people that, you know, I don't know if what I expected, like a parade and shit when I came back, but I at least thought people were going to be like, you know, good job. And they're like, you ain't all that. You ain't even how you get on, you know, and you're just like.
they trust me, they gonna hate on you because it wasn't them. That's
right.
just really
And so that was I would
to.
say like the biggest lesson that I learned. Like people don't even care about your accomplishments. So you gotta pat yourself on the back. Cause I was just waiting, like they're gonna congratulate. Like at any time they're gonna be happy for me. I'm gonna start getting $1 million a gig and all this kind of shit. And they were like no, they
like, whatever, child. Keep it moving.
Whatever. Like, you know, you still got a position over at the petting zoo. So you need to you're like
but that's still a big accolade, because I'll tell you, to accomplish having won an award, especially at a notable award show like the SEA Awards, that's a big deal, because you got to think about there's so many DJs out there.
So many, yeah.
And they have to narrow it down, not only during the nomination process, because they can't nominate 500 DJs. They got to narrow it down to how many ever that they do, maybe 20 or something like that, 25, I don't know. But then for you to actually, first of all, to even be nominated is a big deal, because they recognize your work.
I was like, you couldn't tell me shit. I was so excited. But after that, it kind of was just like, because that was like my goal. Like I wanted to win an award. And then once I achieved that goal, I'm like, well, now what?
Right. You know? Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, you know, like they say with music, you're only as good as your last hit record. It's really no different in this business. Like whatever your accolades are, you got to constantly be creating those. You know, if you win one award, now you got to work towards another one. But if that's not a desire for you, cool, then you got to think about something else that's going to make yourself notable. You got to, you know, develop that notoriety. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work just to stay up with everything that's going on.
Well, you know, my next goal is to break an artist out of Colorado, just from this region at all, you know, because I mean, Utah, New Mexico, like Arizona, like it's kind of, you know, that whole area is kind of dry. Like people just fly over us. They stop to Denver, get some weed, then they go to Cali. They might wait till they get to Cali. Like they go to Cali. It's like they just skip over Denver. You're like, oh man, you know. So I want to break like the next, That's what I want to do.
I'm gonna ask you a question that's gonna pertain to that. I'm glad you brought it up. You know, there's a bazillion artists out there, right? I mean, like a bazillion. There's at least a bazillion right here just in the Atlanta market. And I deal with it a lot, and I for sure know you deal with it a lot. Artists are always asking, you know, can I send you my music? Or sometimes they don't even ask, they just send it. Man, talk to these artists about the proper protocol when it comes to them wanting to submit a record to you, for you to either, you know, do a review, or you to check it out, or maybe play it on one of your sets. What is the proper protocol that you would give advice to these artists when sending you music?
Well, the thing about me is like, I really like working with artists. Like I get them like fresh, like before they start rapping, you know, like I really just want to get like the underdogs. They don't even have, like, they don't know what to do like before. So I can kind of, you know, train them up as they go, you know, like if you have an artist that maybe had one hit or something, like they're kind of like harder to work with. Like, you know, they want, artist development, you know. And so I like to talk to them like and tell them like I actually start with the producer, with the engineer. I like going to their sessions with them. I like explaining.
Let's pause there for 1 second, only because I know that we have a producer that's tuned in. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat. Shout out to SJ. He's a dope producer that I'm working with.
Hey, in fact, shout you out.
Yeah, he's really dope. He's out there in the Jacksonville market. Duval, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that you're speaking on this, because you know he's learning the business and stuff as well. So he could potentially take something from what you're about to say. So you say you want to, you know. Yeah, so I'm sorry, keep going.
Well, because it, you know, it really takes all of us, you know. It's not just one person, you know, because it's not just the artist, it's the DJ doing work, and it's the engineer, and you know, the producers too. Like I feel like they're very underrated, you know, and I feel they do a lot of work that I feel like they get overlooked so much. I mean, unless you're Dr. Dre or Timbaland, they get overlooked. But what I like to do is just have it be a collaborative process, like me, the producer, the engineer, and the DJ, like all in there together, because I'm telling them the importance of, filling out the metadata. Because I just did an event like a few weeks ago, and I was just so mad because I had like 4 artists, right? They all sent me 3 songs each. So I download the songs, I put them in a folder. I have my track list, like what order they're going. And I look, and none of the songs in Serato, none of them. I'm like, I don't know who this person is.
Track 1, track
1,
5, yeah. Who are you?
What the all y'all come here. What the fuck is this? I'm just, what is it? What is this? And so I tell them like, hey, make sure you change the name of the beat, change it to the song,
Yes.
And then too, I find out things from the producer that, I didn't think about, because they'll be like, this motherfucker recorded this shit. They don't even know what they want the name of the song to be. They're like, so what am I supposed to put in there? Like this, they don't know, like what the hell? Like it takes them. I'm like, and you say the same shit over and over, like rolling a blunt. Like,
yeah, well, let's call that bitch rolling a blunt.
Or you just, I don't know. Like I'm gonna have to think on this. I need some time. Right. So they're like, a lot of times they don't even know. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop being so hard on y'all, because I don't know. I don't know unless I'm in the studio with them while they're doing it, and I tell them like, hey, while you got it in the studio session, go ahead and make them an instrumental or a cappella, or, if you want to go all out, make them an 8-bar intro, like do something, and I explain to them, I explain to them like why we ask for all this kind of stuff. Like, we're not asking just to be asking, like, hey, you want your song on the radio? Like as soon as the beat drops, y'all start talking. Like, remember back in the days when it was an album? That song would be going for 2 minutes before they even say anything. Like, give them a chance to introduce you. Give them a chance to do the weather report over your instrumental bed before they drop your song. Let them talk over your. I mean, it just comes right on like, bam, rolling the blunt. You're like, okay.
No, absolutely. Artists, make sure
like Shazam it. I don't know. I didn't have time to say. They didn't let me.
Do them 8-bar intros. That is so key, because like Tamiko said, if a DJ has you in a mixture, they might want to talk over the beginning of your song a little bit while the vibe is coming in. You know what I'm saying? And get you a clean version, please. And my suggestion, and I'm sure Tamiko is going to agree with me, if your song has a lot of cursing, don't just bleep it out. Actually re-record an actual clean version. Don't have 800 bleeps in there.
Make sure you do clean ad-libs too, because I've got so many, it's a clean version. It's beep, shake that ass. Like, wait a minute. You have to bleep that. You gotta bleep all that shit out. Like, you can't,
Yes.
It'll be, or they'll give an instrumental and it'll still have dirty ad-libs in it. Like, what the hell is that? I can't use this.
Right.
That happened to me. I was DJing at a church function, and I was like, I'll be safe. I'll be safe if I play instrumentals. Like, shit, I didn't know. And then they say, and shake it up. Wait a minute.
Sorry, y'all.
Function. I got to unplug this shit. Like, wait a minute. Hold on.
You praying to God that they forgive you.
Lord, please. I pray I cut that off before they start saying bounce that ass. You got 10,000 instrumentals, and you're like, I don't have time to listen to every single one. I'm just putting on like, man, y'all talking about shake that ass on the instrumental. Like, damn it. Just make sure, and then make sure that it's labeled properly, because so many times I've listened to I'm doing a clean mix and it says something out of line. And they'll just be like, they'll have the clean label dirty or the dirty label clean. And make sure you put that in the song title. It should say, hey, Roll a Blunt by TampaMystic. clean, dirty instrumental.
Yes.
Whatever it is, because I'm
Take
just
the
like,
guesswork out of it for us, because we sometimes don't have time to listen to the entire song if we're, especially if you send it last minute and we're trying to throw it in a mix or something like that. But again, my suggestion would be if that's your main single that you really want to push out to the world, just re-record a clean version. That way there's no question, because even your engineer might miss one of those curse words and forget to bleep out or something, because sometimes y'all be so crazy that they don't even really understand what you're saying, and they might miss one of those crazy ad libs or something. So just take the time to record an actual clean version, or better yet, don't curse at all in your music. It's still cool.
Right. And people don't understand, like, the radio station gets big fines for that, like big fines. If you're responsible for one of them fines, like, you're going to get blackballed. Nobody's ever going to want to play you ever again.
Again.
Ever. You're like, oh, that's that one that got such and such a fine, or that's that one that did this. Yeah.
People aren't going to take you seriously. So let's switch gears a little bit. I know that you also do work with, we talked about it somewhat with artist development and offering other services besides you being a dope DJ and breaking records. Talk to us about the other things that you're doing now to help artists.
So like I said, I like to just be in there from like the beginning, helping them all the way through. Like, I can help them, they can help me, I just want to make sure that they have everything that they need, and I show them other service packs that I get sent from other artists. I'm like, look at what this other artist sent, and then look what you sent. You sent song 1, they got a full service pack. Like, look at how, and I'm like, this is part of the reason why we haven't broke an artist, because it's not in the right format, So I go through extensive links to explain this to them. I do a lot of explaining, because with DJ, like, we get like hundreds of emails a day. Like you said, listen to this, what you think about this? And what makes me mad? They'll send me not even a complete song, just a hook. What you think about this?
Or a rough version.
Right. I was, don't send me this. I said, because first of all, this is your project, okay? Like, because like for me, I don't ever interfere with the creative process,
Right.
Like, I'll tell you it needs to be mixed and mastered, but I'm not gonna say, oh, the hook needs to go right here.
Right.
Because at that point, I need producer credits. Like,
you need producer credits. Period.
I need to be on that split sheet. Like, this is my song, okay? I'm about to DJ Khaled this shit.
If I got
to tell you how to do this, is my song. This ain't your song no more. So, I don't, and then too, it's a lot of stuff on the radio that I think is trash, but everybody loves it. I feel like, who am I to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, the general public may like that shit, but I'm gonna tell you it needs to be mastered, or I'm gonna tell you stuff like that, like, you need a clean version or this, that, and the other. But I'm not gonna sit there and tell you, you need to stay in the paint right there instead of no, it ain't. I'm not gonna do that.
Absolutely.
I said, only send me final products and say something. Don't just be sending me shit. Hey, Tamiko.
And don't send us a link, because I get Spotify links all the time and I don't subscribe to Spotify, so I can't even listen to it. Don't assume that I have a Spotify account, because I don't. I'm an Apple Music girl. Just saying.
And then it's rough, because I've started doing Spotify playlisting. So at first I was going from don't send me them damn links to send me the links. They like, make up your mind. You want the links? You don't want the links? And I'm like, look. This is when you send a link. This is when you send the MP3.
Right.
It's a time and the place. Right. This is when you do this. This is when you do that. So we already did the service pack. So now I need the link. Like, give me the link. And I feel like, Spotify playlisting has replaced mixtapes.
It absolutely has. I agree.
Because you do all this work and you just like, what is on that piff? Like, is somebody gonna listen to it? And then, like, with me, I like to do a lot of remixing and stuff too. And I would see like these DJs, and they would have their mixtapes on Spotify, and I'd be like, what the hell? How do they do that? I need to do that. And I would listen to it, but it would just be the song with a drop in it. And I'm like, that ain't mixed. that ain't no mixtape. Then I'm like, oh, they're getting paid for that?
Yes.
Oh, like they like, it was like ding, like a little light bulb went in.
Light bulb.
And then after that, I was like, I ain't got to mix shit. Like, just send it to me. I'm gonna put it on there. I'm gonna put the drop on there, and I'm gonna keep it pushing. I just felt like I could get like a lot more accomplished. I'm like, I'm making my little money now, so I'm not feeling like,
No, I think that's dope.
It's
so
a
like
lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, any artists that may be tuned in that want to come to you and maybe have you help them with some artist development or maybe some promo or maybe break down to them how they need to approach a DJ or get on your Spotify playlist, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Definitely on Instagram or email. I do not give my number out anymore.
Lord Jesus, me neither. I don't trust these fools because they'll call you at 3 a.m. on some bullshit.
3 a.m. talking about what you think about this. We in the studio.
Yeah. Baby, I'm in the bed sleep. I'm laying next to my partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you mean?
Right. And then they looking at you like, who the fuck is that? I don't
Exactly.
Right.
So
it's just not relationship problems with you rappers
are so unprofessional
in the morning. Right.
Yeah, stop doing that bullshit, bro. It can wait about 5 more hours.
Speakerphone. You gotta just put it on speakerphone and be like, maybe check out the hook. You be like, no.
See the bullshit. So yeah, definitely we don't give out our personal number. So tell us.
Email me or my website is djtimeko@gmail.com. I mean, no. Look, I got them all mixed up. Okay, so that's my email address is djtimeko@gmail.com, and then my website is just djtimeko.com. Look,
yes.
Do I have it on the banner?
There you go. I'll let you, girl.
Right. Hey, look, here's my information right here.
Holla at your girl, man.
Hey.
I think it's so important that you artists, and I'm glad that you came on here with me tonight. Not only because you're my home girl and I respect you, but artists need to hear what we talked about. I think it's they need to know the proper etiquette, because when they come at us sideways, you as an artist don't have to come to us and try to butter us up. You ain't got to tell us we sexy and beautiful, because if anything, that's going to turn us away. We're going to be like, we're now going to be leery of wanting to work with you because we don't know what your intentions are. Like, leave all that out of your question and get to the business. Like, you can be courteous to us. Hey, good morning. We're big on common courtesy, but be professional, at the end of the day. What would be like maybe one tip or piece of advice that you would want to leave with, any artist or just people in business in general out there coming from DJ Timeko?
I would say study your craft, because like back in the day, you would get signed, like everybody wanted to get signed. You would get signed to a record label and they would do everything for you. Okay. Now we have internet access. You can do your own distribution. Instead of playing Fortnite and shit like that, get on the Google and Google what you need to do. Like, find out.
Yes.
Look at other read. Subscribe to magazines. Subscribe to like a lot of these places have newsletters. Like, get ASCAP newsletters, BMI newsletters. Get if you want to go to TuneCore, get a newsletter. Like, stay active on what you're doing. Like, and I just feel like it's no excuse, because everything is available. All the information is available online. Okay. Like, it's no excuse. Okay. It's not like I feel like it used to be like a big ass secret, like the record, like they were the gatekeepers. They weren't going to give you any information. Okay. Now everybody and their mama has the information. So I get kind of irritated. Like, I do like a little trick question. Like, I'll ask them like, send me your service pack. And how they respond to that question is what category I put in there, like how I'm going to handle them. Some people are like, what's your email address? I'll send it to you right now. Boom.
Right.
Yes.
Boom.
Some people are like, what's the service pack?
Before you ask that, go Google it. Don't make yourself look like a dummy.
Because I know me, if I'm on a Zoom conference or something and people are talking over my head about shit that I don't know, I got my look. I'll be like, hold on. I'm Google. I'm like, what? Hold on, wait a minute. What? I'll be like, okay.
Oh yeah, girl, I know what you're talking
about. Yes. Now, so as I was saying, at least try,
Facts. Like, because
some people
like
are
you
like,
said, it's
hey,
out there.
You know what? I'm not by my computer. You caught me slipping. I don't know what it is. Can you help me? Can you tell me? If you ask for help, cool. I'm like, cool. Matter of fact, when I was in Atlanta, I'm not gonna name no names, but I have met with this artist, and it's a pretty popular artist. And I was like, well, he's like, yeah, we need to get on rotation down there in Denver. I said, okay, send me the service pack. He said, I don't need one of those.
What?
You know what? Fuck it. You're right. You sure the fuck don't. That's cool.
Because you ain't gonna be in my rotation.
You don't need one, huh? Okay, well, fuck it. I don't need it either. Yeah. If you don't need it, I don't need it.
That's right. Period. No, you are absolutely right. And Google and YouTube are a plethora of knowledge. I'm the type of person, I don't mind asking for help, but it's at last resort. I'm going to go try to figure this shit out on my own. I'm going to watch YouTube videos. I'm going to Google research. And if I absolutely still am like stumped, then I might ask somebody for something. But make that your last resort. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but try to figure it out.
Pretend like you half-ass interested in finding out what's going on. They just, I don't need that. Okay. All right.
When you coming back to Atlanta?
Ooh, when it stops being hot, look, when it starts snowing here, I'm gonna come out there. Because while I was down there, I was miserable. It's too damn hot.
It'd be blazing. Any thoughts of ever moving out here?
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? I want to manifest that I have an apartment here, an apartment there, or a house there and a house there. I'm gonna live here in the summer, and I'm gonna live there in the winter. Because that's
good. I can come visit.
Right. I might Airbnb it out, like while I'm not there. Like you can stay there, but no. And for me, it's all about the weather. For me being comfortable, it's all about, because I feel like now, like everything is online. Like me and you talking, like
Absolutely.
you're my first stop every time I come to Atlanta. But still,
and I appreciate that.
We can do this, online.
We still can connect. Absolutely. It's like we sitting here right next to each other. And I appreciate you. Is there anything else that you have coming up? Any projects you're working on or anything that you want to let everybody know about?
Yes, I am actually working on something. You guys are going to be the first to know.
Okay.
So, I'm actually a coalition DJ now. That happened since
big congrats on that.
I talked to you. We actually got like a coalition Midwest. So we're going to be focusing on, artists in the Midwest. But we are going to work on a mixtape. And, we're just like, let's do it. Like, we haven't done one. So we're going to focus on the promotion part, because that's one thing I didn't get to touch on. It's just once you do this project, you've spent all this money on this project. I see people they'll post the link and they're right back in the studio working on another album. What are you doing? 23 people heard that last song you did. Like, are you going to work the promo, or are you going to just keep doing albums, or is this a hobby? Like, what are you doing?
Right. That's big fact.
I'm trying to get them to work on, okay, like, why don't you drop, instead of a whole album, why don't you drop 2 singles this year and work on them singles? Send them singles out. They're like, oh, that's old. It ain't old to nobody else because ain't nobody heard it. It's just old to you. Like, keep working that record.
That's right.
Just promote it. Like, people always run out of money. They don't ever put in the budget the promotion. Like, you have to promote that shit. And people get distribution and promotion confused. They think because they have distribute, they think TuneCore is not out shopping your album. They're not giving it to nobody.
They could care less.
You have to pay everybody to promote that,
That's right.
And I don't know, it's just like people look down on it like, oh, I don't want to pay. I'm not paying. They make it seem like, oh, that's fake. You paying people for this. You paying for likes, or you paying for people to do shit. That's how shit gets done, and a lot of local artists are like, you know, they only have 32 listeners. Like, I'm not gonna pay for any ads because that's cheating. And they're like, oh, you know, but I think it's a misconception because once, you know, I started explaining to them about these algorithms, and I'm like, hey, check this out. You know, mainstream artists, they have a budget for this. They have promo budgets. Like,
they sure do.
Chris Brown is still promoting. Like, if he needs a budget, if Beyonce needs a budget, what makes you think you don't need a budget?
Especially when they're at a totally different label. Yes, they're at a.
They pay for that shit. Like, you don't think you think it just appears out of nowhere. Like,
they
pay for that shit. You know, so
that's right.
Just telling them, like, save some money for that too. Like, don't just, you know what I'm saying? Don't think you're done with the project when you're done with the project, because you're just getting started with the project.
Right. Every month you need to put some money aside, you know, whether you can afford 100 this month or 500 this month, or maybe you got to stop going out so much so you can start saving some money. Like you said, put a budget together, because without that, you're really not going to get anywhere. And that's just, that's the reality of it. Some people don't want to hear that, but it's just what it is.
And, you know, I feel it's so oversaturated now. Everybody is on their phone. You have so many options. Like, if I want to listen to the radio, I could listen to the Drop 104.7 on the app. You know, you can listen to Sirius Radio. You can listen to Tidal. You can listen to iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, like Deezer, like all these places. And they're all in competition for your views, for your, you know what I mean? And it's like, you have to put yourself in front of people. Because they have so many options. People might not even see anything that you're doing. Or they'll be like, oh, I don't do social media. You need to do social media, or you need to pay somebody to do social media, because that's how people are interacting. That's how people, do you have hard copies in a record store? Because I ain't even seen a record store anymore. They're like nostalgic. They've got like 45s and shit in there. Like,
the times have changed.
Times have changed.
It is, you know, now artists that are coming out now, they do have it easier than artists like 20 years ago. Because 20 years ago, they didn't have the luxury of getting on social media and networking with the whole entire world. They really had to be out in these streets and touring and hitting every club and meeting every single DJ in person, where artists now, I think that's why those artists 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago and further back have more longevity, because they actually went out there and built those relationships face to face, where artists today, they just want to jump in your DM and send you a link and keep it pushing. Like, we didn't even build no kind of relationship with each other. And they wonder why their song either never takes off, or if it does take off, it might take off for about a month to maybe 3 months, 6 months if you're lucky, but usually not even that long. Like, think about when you're listening to the radio, like, there's usually not music that released 6 months ago what you're hearing right now. It's you know, so you got to think about that kind of stuff, man. But I appreciate you taking some time with us tonight right here on the Magic Room. This is my homegirl, DJ Timeko.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. I'm glad that we were able to make this happen. Tell everybody one more time your website and all that good stuff where they can keep.
Let me scoot over.
Yeah, there you go. So, she's getting her Vanna White on.
Right. Okay, so at DJ Timeko T. Look, my Facebook page got hacked, so I'm not active on there anymore. If they send you a request, like, send me some money, it ain't me, okay? They're still on there, like,
that's crazy.
People that were on my friends list, and Facebook was like, nothing's wrong with your account. Nobody took it.
What?
I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just like, what? Okay, guess what? I'm not gonna be on there no more.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that really just made me super active on Instagram, because I really wasn't, you know, so I look at it as a blessing in disguise, because now I get to utilize other outlets more. So Instagram at DJ Timeko T. My email address is djtimeko@gmail.com. And then the website is djtimeko.com.
So make sure you guys follow her, keep up with the movement. She's got a lot going on. She's, really working with these independent artists, helping them, rise up and do their thing. So once again, thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight. If you missed any of this, you can go back and watch it. We're live streaming right now on YouTube and on Twitch, but it'll stay permanently on the YouTube channel. So make sure y'all, go check it out. But in the meantime, we about to get up out of here. You can catch us live each and every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on The Magic Room. Y'all have a blessed night.
All right. Thank you.